All right, what is the server called? Oh, Homer J. Simpson. There we go. I just sent him
That's
a link.
another one.
Yeah, no, yeah, that should be.
That's another. I think that's another channel I made.
No, that's the one that we're in right now. I promise you. I'm looking right at it.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Clive and Dardis. What should I do?
Click on the text that says Clive and Dardis. You see,
click on the text that says Clive and Dardis.
Yeah, and it'll join them right in automatically. There we go. Perfect. Yay! I got everybody in. Perfect. It only took 44 minutes, but we got it.
Look at Giovanni's not 45 or 43. He's got it 44.3 seconds.
Yeah, I was well, luckily I was streaming. I was on, I was just talking with people about the Paul Pelosi body cam footage that was finally dropped. Very embarrassing and damning. I wish they would have released it sooner so we can laugh at the Democrats a lot harder.
Yeah, I wonder why they didn't.
No, well, because it was faked and staged. Yeah, it was absolutely
the election.
Oh, and that, yeah.
Oh, no,
like the election, right?
That. Yeah, they needed all the, they pulled out all the stops to, get a favorable outcome for the midterms, and faking an attack on Nancy Pelosi's very strange husband was one of the tactics, and it might have worked. I don't know. But
excuse me, he is not strange. He is my husband, and I need that from you.
All right.
Let's
So I let's start off with this. How did you guys come across my YouTube channel or my content?
Wait, because we're not recording yet.
Oh, okay.
We should record.
Oh, okay.
We got to record here, so because I got to start the show. Now you're able to record, right?
I've been recording for 49 minutes.
I've been recording, baby.
You have to cut all that off. You can you just select it and edit it. And just,
all right.
Yeah.
I'll end up doing some stuff in post for the appropriate interview and all that. I'm just glad that we got everybody on here. Everybody sounds good.
We're all here.
Everybody sounds good. So
I'm a big fan of yours, actually, Giovanni. There's about 10 to 15 people I watch, and I came across your channel about maybe 2 months ago, and I started listening. I'm like, hey, this young guy's really got it going on, and he seems to really think about the issues, and I was impressed. So you're kind of on my list, leader of the band on Spotify.
Yeah,
and,
that's right.
Bad Boy Swag.
That's right. That username was inspired by Sam Kennison. May he rest in peace, brother Sam.
Yeah,
leader of the band. I think that was the name of one of his albums.
I like that. Yeah,
he's one of my inspirations, one of my heroes, and he unfortunately passed not far away from us out here in Vegas.
Right,
over on that highway, Needles. Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, he had a little.
Yeah. All right, let's just start the show. You ready?
Yeah,
Pat?
I'm ready.
To start recording?
I'm ready.
I know Giovanni's ready, but
I'm ready.
Pat, are you ready to record, Pat?
I've been recording for about a minute now, so I just want to tell you.
All right, great. All right, everybody's files are going to be off. Okay.
That's okay. A minute or two is no.
All right. Okay. Now I'm recording. Okay. Let me get.
Okay. So say, hey, Michael's got to do his intro. He's very good at it. He's very good at intros. Amazing.
Right. Let me see. Where are we here? Let me go over here. Oh, yes. Yeah, live shows. I used to do live shows, and they're fun. They're exhilarating, but there's just too much. I see too many people at the shows. They're going, okay, so wait a minute, hold on, what happened here? It's such a disaster. So, besides, as a producer, I prefer to have a little more editing power, and a lot of times it comes in very useful. It's like,
I'm a shoot from the hip kind of guy, so we take that risk, we take that chance. So
yes,
just like a Democrat, right?
Pretty much.
There it is. Okay, so let's see. Here we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Clive and Dardis. I'm Michael Clive. That's Pat Dardis.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, and today we're interviewing Giovanni. How do you want to be interviewed?
You can just call me Giovanni. That's okay.
Okay. Today we're interviewing Giovanni. He's got a podcast called Leader of the Band. That's BANNDED. Leader of the Band. And then over on YouTube and some other places, he's known as BadBoySwag420.
Yes.
So, and I think I got that right. So,
that is
Giovanni.
correct.
So, how you doing?
Good. Good morning. I got up early. I'm not refreshed enough yet, but no, I'm ready. I'm happy that you guys reached out, and I'm looking forward to speaking with you guys and sharing this with my viewers.
Yeah, this would be great. Did you now? So you have a podcast,
Yes.
and then you have Pat was asking me. He goes, so he's got leader of the band, then Bad Boy Swag 420. I don't know why he has two different names. I said, well, it's probably because leader of the band was available on one, but not on another, or the other way around, or something.
Yeah, well, initially I was just gonna do podcasts on Anchor, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, etc., and kind of just do my own thing, a little separate from the actual content I do on YouTube. However, it just made more sense to use an audio only version from the YouTube streams and then put them on Anchor. So that's why the names are different. The actual name of the podcast show that I do with my co-host Cheese is called The Watch Frogs. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here with us today.
Oh, okay.
You got too many names. That's what they used to tell me.
No, but
they're like, you want to keep it consistent. I'm like, okay.
I know. It's I get that all the time.
But the content is. I really like the content. I've been listening to Giovanni, leader of the band, and Bad Boy Swag 420 for about 2 months, and he's basically a staple of my internet listening diet now. So I was impressed, and I felt like reaching out to him, and I'm glad he reciprocated.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I didn't know. I was like, who? Pat, he's like, he's got a crush on you. I'm like, what is?
No.
This
Let's not go there now.
Who is this? Is he in government or was he? Oh no, he's just got a podcast.
The G-Man.
He's just a nice guy. All right, Giovanni. Okay, we can do that.
Yeah.
So, okay then. I think the main reason that we're talking to you, what interested me when Pat said, is like, you're only, what are you? You're 25, yeah?
No, I'm about to turn 33 at the end of the year.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I know. I look young. I look very young. It's because I don't have the diet of a Democrat, so I don't age like they do.
No. Well, no, there's nothing wrong with looking young. Believe me, that I can tell you. When I was about 19, I got pulled over because I didn't look old enough to drive, if that tells you.
Well,
So,
I
know.
still get ID'd at bars, so
Yeah. See, we know what discrimination is. We know. Don't tell me we don't know. Okay. Yeah. So you were a Democrat. How did that all start? I mean, I think, and I know Pat, you probably want to know this too. Did you grow up in Vegas?
Yeah, I did. Me and my mother, we moved out here in Vegas in like the early-ish, almost mid-90s. So I went to elementary school out here. I went to college out here. Vegas is my home. I basically just tell people I've been a native. And for as long as I known, and I actually thought about this because I read the question, and I wasn't always entirely like a Democrat. When I really got interested into politics, I was actually a huge fan of Ron Paul, the Ron Paul revolution. I wasn't old enough to vote, unfortunately, so I didn't vote in 2008. And if I could, I probably wouldn't have voted for Obama. But I was a Democrat. I did vote for the Democrats, and I worked for Harry Reid. I worked for Bernie Sanders in 2016, of course, and of course we ended up losing, and that's when I ended up making the change. And it's when I got a real dose of fake news. The press, the line press, was making unsubstantiated claims about Bernie Sanders' volunteers and his supporters and his voters, and that really bothered me. And of course, he ended up losing. And I just told my friends, I'm like, and I worked in the tech industry. I thought, like, look, they think they're going to get my vote after calling us all these awful names. I'm going to go vote for Trump out of spite. So I ended up meeting a lot of conservatives and Christians and people who were very enthusiastic about President Trump. And it really just shattered a lot of the beliefs that I had about Republicans, about Jesus, about conservatives. And I'm just like, man, I was made to fear these people, to hate these people. I was also a militant atheist. A lot of my friends don't even believe me that I voted for President Trump. And when I went to go vote for him, I took a picture of, who I was voting for. It's on Instagram right now because I know nobody would have believed me. And I'm like, look, these people were kind. They're better than me. They're I was wrong. And I was so mean and I was so nasty. And I was like, yeah. So I walked away from the Democratic Party before that was a cool thing to do. And then, of course, and I'm just not into, fakery and lies. And that's all we got for the last few years since he became the president, even before that. So I couldn't
Was your
tolerate it.
family Democrat growing up, or did?
Well, my mother was never political. My dad stepped out when I was a teenager, and I never really talked. I never talked with him about politics. We have a good relationship now, so like we go out to eat and we talk, and he loves Fauci. You know, he cries about January 6th. And I was like, man, I wish they succeeded. I wish it was
this can't even be happening. Yeah,
well, you know what?
We wish that was a real that wasn't even an insurrection.
It was. I don't even think it was a riot.
An incursion.
It was an unescorted tour. Thank you very much.
It was. I used to say it was a hooliganism. That's all it was. It was hooliganism.
Yeah.
The people that were really up to no good were the feds. And funny enough, none of them are getting punished like Ray Epps.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, we know all about it. Yeah, we're talking about it a lot, and nothing gets done.
Nope.
That's an amazing story, though. That your father's still drinking the Kool-Aid. I see.
Well, the thing is that I don't necessarily think he was very political, but now all of a sudden, you know, he's doing his own thing. You know, he pretends he doesn't have kids or whatever the case may be, and yeah, you know, now he's all like, oh, I watch CNN, and you know, we gotta deal with these evil white supremists. I'm like,
my gosh!
I was like, you're
wow.
I was like,
That's some exciting dinner talk.
Yeah.
I gotta go early, Dad.
Do you talk to him much?
Yeah, I do. We don't really spend too much time because I'm really busy. You know, like I do my show, I do electrical work, and you know, he has his own life. He also works a lot, and he also travels a lot too. But no, we actually, you know, for the longest time, I had a huge grudge against him. I wanted nothing to do with him, and I didn't talk with him. You know, around the time like 2007, I was still in high school, so he ended up leaving, and you know, I was just done with him, and I didn't talk with him for like 5 or 6 years. It was like I was like in my mid-20s when I ended up really communicating with him again. And you know, by then, you know, my career, just everything changed for me. So yeah, but no, there's no ill will or animosity. It's just funny. It's, you know, cause you know, I'm his son, but we're just the polar opposite when it comes to beliefs and stuff.
And what used to be no big deal. Well, I don't know. I think many decades ago, people just didn't discuss politics, period.
No, you're right.
We don't discuss that.
Yeah, no. So they
It's
probably because they knew better.
Now.
Yeah, now everything is political. Where you eat,
Everything.
you know, what you watch, you know, you can't. The music, everything is political, and you can't.
Hey,
escape
I've got an idea. Let's call your father, and I'll be Dr. Fauci thanking him so much for his undying support, and it will be so. I hope
that's a show. There's a show right there. You know,
does he wear 2 or 3 masks?
Fake Fauci call.
No, he was actually he wasn't that obnoxious about it. You know, he shared the beliefs, but I told him, I was like, look, this is during the lockdown. So Michael, you live out here in Vegas. So when we'd go out, I'd be like, I'm not wearing no goddamn mask. You know, they're gonna have to fight me. And he's like, oh, okay, whatever, Giovanni. He's like, oh, I'm just glad I'm with my son. Yeah, no one ever did anything to me. Those videos were individual, mostly women. They'd go into a store, they wouldn't wear a mask, and they would always get attacked. I'm like, you know what? I can't wait till someone tries that with me. It's not going to end well for them. It's like, I'm ready. And no one ever did anything. No one ever said anything.
That's great.
No, actually, they were not so. Because I heard nightmare stories. They were not so bad here in Vegas. In fact, it was the LVAC, the Las Vegas athletic play, the gym. Basically, it's a gym chain, and so I remember going there. And first, they made you come in and just have the mask around your neck, but you could wear it, you know, basically on your neck. You didn't have to have it up over, just so that you had it on, right?
Yeah.
And then they started changing it. You could come around to people. Excuse me, I need you to pull the mask. And I says, what? And I had a nice little back and forth with her, and you know, everybody's looking at me. I was like, well, you people are crazy. You're breathing in and out the sides, you dumbasses. Don't you?
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous.
Oh,
and I go to LVAC too, and I didn't wear the mask. I had it around the underneath of like my chin, and I'm just like, whatever, man. And somebody complained, and then like this young LVAC employee came by and he's like, hey man, you know, what's up with the mask? I'm like, I called corporate. They said it was cool. And he's like, all right, man, but just still. I'm like, all right, man. And he was cool. I wasn't gonna, you know, like I go there all the time, so, and you know, I got friends that work there, so I'm not about being disrespectful. And you know, I worked retail, so I'm not gonna wear the mask, but I'm not gonna be mean. That was my policy.
Right.
Yeah. So it was rough for everybody. And when I'd go out, And there'd be like no one in a restaurant. I'm like with like a buddy of mine. I told the waitress or the waiter, I'm like, look, you don't have to wear that around us. Like, I'm not gonna say anything. And there was an audio store. This place, it's called E Studio Store. I go there all the time to get audio equipment, and they were telling me that they had to lock their doors during business hours, and then people had to be buzzed in. They never did that before, and they were telling me that there were people that would wander into the store and like ask them weird questions just to make sure that they were complying with the CISILAC, government mandates.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that is crazy. That is so crazy, man. But there's evil people out there, and we live in a big city, so they're everywhere. And it was a bizarre time, and I know a lot of people want to look past it, but we can't
look past it. We can't look past it.
No, there's got to be accountability. So any chance to rub it in their face how wrong they were about everything, I'm going to take that opportunity.
Yeah, you have to, because if you don't, you get they'll make sure you get trampled.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I'm assuming Giovanni, you didn't take the vaccine then.
Yeah, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah, right.
They tried, man. My my workshop or my warehouse. They wanted us. They didn't force the pharmaceutical product of significant relevance on us, but what they did do was like, okay, you guys got to get the whatchamacallit. You guys got to get the you guys got to get tested all the time. And I said, I was like, well, you guys got to pay for it. So they were paying for these for like, I don't know, a month or two. And then after they did that, they're like, okay, hold on one moment.
Hello?
Hang on.
All right. So anyways,
he's taking a drink of wine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Do you guys see that?
I see.
I'm out of wine right now. But anyways, so they so after the initial testing, it was free. Then they made us pay for it, and it was like $5. It was like $5. I'm like, okay, whatever. And it was on site. And then they're like, well, this is so expensive. You guys got to get tested before work or after work, and it's $70. There was a testing site that did it for free, so I would just go during lunch, and they told us that we weren't even allowed to do that, but I did it anyways. I didn't care. It's like, well, you guys want to fire me, you can. It's whatever. I'll just go work for somebody else. Like I do electrical work, and people like us are always in demand. And it was insane. There would be people talking to me. They were scared of like losing their job. I unfortunately lost two friends. One of them, she worked for the press out here in Vegas, and she was a young woman. Her name was Amanda, and very healthy. When I was a banker, she'd be one of the clients, and I just talk with her, and she got married. So I found out through a fiance on Facebook, and very unfortunate. And another guy I went to high school with, Jordan, a healthy guy. He worked for the airlines out here, and just doing the handling heavy equipment and whatnot. And he passed away. Wow. Healthy guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it from COVID?
No, it was from the pharmaceutical product of significant relevance. You got to be very careful how you say these things and phrase them on YouTube, because they'll come after you. So and now we're seeing. I don't know if you guys follow James O'Keefe of Project Veritas, but they just dropped that interview with that Pfizer director, basically saying they're playing God in these labs and doing God knows what with these illnesses. And it's like, and with these products that they're selling to the government, then to force us to take, and it's all crazy. And I feel like maybe by the end of this year, hopefully sooner, but eventually we're going to be vindicated for pushing back against this and for resisting.
I think we've already been vindicated. That's Pfizer salesman or whatever. I guess the research and development. Yeah, they're talking about mutating viruses and just so they can sell their vaccines. So they're basically going to try to put it out on the public, which is actually murder in a way. I mean, that's called first degree murder, my friends.
No, absolutely. And it's funny that if I get interrupted, like my grandmother's visiting, so
okay.
Oh my goodness.
Giovanni.
Yeah, no. So anyways, she like what gets me is the how do I phrase this without getting into trouble?
They can't get in trouble on our show.
Oh no, but I'll get in trouble on mine.
On your show. No, I know what you mean, but
they.
And that's how sad, right? How sad. What is this?
Yeah, and like I grew up. Is what I was gonna say. I grew up as like a huge nerd. I love sci-fi movies. I've watched pretty much all of them. I think all the good ones at the very least. And the scientists were not to be trusted. The scientists were the bad guys. They were always doing something they shouldn't have been doing, and they had to be stopped.
Yeah.
And now it's the year 2023, and one of the slogans of the Democrat is trust the science, trust the scientists, trust the experts. I'm like, why? Look what they've done. It's like it's like you were supposed to be skeptical of these individuals, and now we've been totally vindicated by that expose done by Project Veritas.
Yeah, we'll never know exactly where that COVID, how it all happened. Well, we have some evidence, but we don't exactly know. But we have some evidence that it could have been actually part of our side as well, collaborating with the Chinese and
that
so
appears.
Well, I don't know about our side, but it was certainly my side. As a physician, of course, I am God. What did he
said?
say?
I am the science. He's doing channeling as a Heisenberg from the Breaking Bad.
I am the science.
And then Biden's standing up there going, "We believe in science, not fact." Okay, Joe.
Oh yeah. Good
so,
old Joe.
You know what's funny too, because here we're talking about fast forward 2023. Look at all this chaos around us and science and all. You're into gaming. I'm into gaming. I've been into gaming since the Atari 2600. Pong, man. Remember, it was Pong. The games.
Way before my time.
These are not games today. These are incredible experiences, and but have you? And I know you've. In fact, I'm just replaying Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Oh, okay.
Wow. What an amazing, that thing is just beautiful. But you notice a lot of themes in a lot of games are about what we're going through right now with government doing these dastardly things. And you got to be the person that goes in and takes them out. And right.
Oh yeah.
So many of these games.
Yeah.
The apocalypses and yeah.
Yeah, I think the one that would be hitting a lot more closer to home would be another Tom Clancy game called The Division, where an illness spreads through touching dirty currency. And then of course the government falls apart except for one aspect of the federal government, and they're like the thing that holds it all together, and you gotta save DC, and I'm like no, let it all fall apart. It's not worth saving. That was my
and that leads me to this question.
Yes.
Do you think is this country worth salvaging right now? I mean, should we break up? Should we have secession someday, Giovanni? I mean, because right now we have a tyrannical federal government in Washington. I mean, is this thing worth really? I mean, like I saw one of your videos, and you were talking about, man, I'm not even joining. I wouldn't even join the army if you paid me $1 million or something like that. I mean, right, because of their anti-white and all the transsexual woke stuff. It's crazy out there right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually talking about this with some friends the other night. We were up all night just having a good laugh, and it got real serious, and they were commenting on whether or not we should be supporting Russia, and I argued, yeah, maybe we should. For them to win would mean to harm this illegitimate regime. And and there were some people, they were conservative, they were Republicans, family guys, and they're like, oh well, so if the Russians stormed the beaches of California, you wouldn't pick up a weapon and fight back? I'm like, no, absolutely not. I would welcome them.
I think up to that point now where I wouldn't fight for the Russians, but I wouldn't even. I mean, right now we're basically the new world order with NATO. We're trying to.
The way that I put it was like this, the weaker our military, the harder it is for them to oppress us. I don't remember what personality said it, but they stated very eloquently that the greatest killer of populations is their own government in most instances. And and then of course what we're seeing, innocent American citizens who were denied due process, habeas corpus has been essentially suspended, and they're being tortured in a DC prison. And
nothing's being done about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody was silent about the, regardless of what anybody thinks about them, the Muslim detainees in Guantanamo Bay and other various black sites. Well, now they're doing it to American citizens in the year 2020. As soon as President Trump left office, he wasn't able to pardon them or get them off the hook. I know that's one of his campaign pitches, and it better be, or none of this is going to be worth it. No other Republican is going to free those people except for President Trump. And that reason alone is, yeah, it is sad. But yeah, no, is it a country worth fighting for? I would never pick up a weapon and attack Russians. I have no issue or ill will towards Russians.
Exactly.
I have no issues or ill will towards Ukrainians. And while I got issues with Islam, I got no problem with Middle Eastern people. And they never did anything to me. And our government is spreading all this propaganda about all of these groups of people, and I'm just not interested in it. And it seems like a lot of people aren't either. I don't recall the journalist, but he said that the army hasn't seen this depletion of troops since the Vietnam War, since the end of the Vietnam War. So once they did away with the drafting, the draft policies, the recruitment just fell off, and now we're seeing those numbers again. And I think that's a good thing. I think a weak and scared military, U.S. military, is a good thing. I'm not interested in bullying any of these nations, even the North Koreans. Like I don't got a problem with those people. I think Trump was on the right track, trying to, make peace with them and have peace on the peninsula.
Exactly.
But
we really got out of hand. We really got out of hand from 2001 to now. I mean, I think our military industrial complex, the neocons, it really took advantage of the 9/11 thing. That's a little too deep for this scope today, but there was something a little fishy about that whole 9/11 thing. So they really took advantage of that 9/11 deal, and the military's been all over Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya. I mean, and now Russia. I mean, these guys are insane. I mean, what they just handed over the tanks now. I mean, we're getting close to World War III here, and people are worried about their Netflix and I mean, it's really crazy out there. And that's why I like talking to you, because you're a little different generation than us, but you get it, so to speak.
I have I've been kind of talking about this on Twitter. I have contention with a lot of figures on the right, and who are they're hyper focusing on nonsense issues that really like only parents should be concerned about, like the Transformers, invading like sports and stuff. And I don't really I'm not for that. I'm not in favor of anything. I think that those people are kind of gross, but I think what's more important is focusing on election integrity. I think focusing on world peace, as cheesy as that sounds, and also understanding the law. Innocent Americans are literally being tortured in Washington D.C. Habeas corpus. This is what essentially what is happening now is what happened when Abe Lincoln was president. He was arresting journalists. He was arresting political dissidents. And we also saw this in the early 1920s. Was it Warren Harding? I think he literally was arresting judges and members of Congress because they were opposing the World War.
Oh my, I didn't know that, but yeah, they're out of control. Abe Lincoln was definitely out of control too. There's no doubt about that. That's another history we could talk about, the Civil War. I mean, these guys were just trying to. They weren't perfect people, but as we see, this government isn't exactly perfect either. So I mean,
it was Woodrow Wilson. It was Woodrow Wilson.
That's right. Woodrow.
Oh yes. One of my viewers just corrected me.
Over while I have a stroke.
One of my. I apologize for that. I apologize for cutting you off there. Please continue.
That's all right. We have, with the internet stuff, you have all this delay and stuff.
No, that's fine. But our government is so out of control now that I feel like there is. I don't think voting is going to get us out of it, man. I just feel that we have to make something happen, so to speak. We have to make something happen.
Yeah.
Because they're not. The only thing they're making happen right now is World War III, possibly. And that's not an appetizer to me. What I mean?
No.
World War
War III. We've got terror in our streets. We got crime we can't solve. Oh, but let's go help. Excuse me. I will say this as your president. Think of how many Ukrainians would still be alive today if Joe Biden weren't president. Thank you very much.
That's a good way to look at it.
I mean, really,
Yeah, no, I for the longest time I pushed back against that notion because I'm not a demoralist, and I kept hearing from even people much younger than myself who are kind of tuned into what is going on. They're like, oh, we can't vote our way out of this. Something's gonna have to happen. And, I'm starting to think maybe they're right, because the voting apparatus in this country is out of control, and it doesn't make any goddamn sense. And, what needs to happen? who knows? But what I tell people, it's like, what we can't do, what I know we can do immediately is not participate in whatever it is they want us to do. So they want us to eat the garbage food. We're not going to do that. They want us to watch the woke garbage on Netflix. We're not going to give those people our money. They want us to fight their wars for them. We shouldn't. We should be anti-military. We should not worship the military. As journalist Darren Beatty eloquently puts in an article on Revolver. He used to work for President Trump. He's a great guy, wonderful guy. And one of the issues that Republicans have is just worshiping the military, worshiping this, the police state. And we need to just break away from all that.
And that's funny that you mentioned the police state, even though you mentioned it in the broader sense. I mean, I saw they were having up in Canada yesterday. Trudeau was walking to some kind of meeting yesterday, and the people were really handing it to him. I mean, they were yelling and screaming at him.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they hate it. No, you saw it too. That's great. Yeah. And the police were there just as his. I mean, these police are just basically. What's that old saying? What were they? With the Germans?
Oh, they're just doing their job.
Just following the orders. You know what I mean? I mean, it's how many times we're going to hear that, man? Until some,
Yeah, I don't have a lot of sympathy for the Canadians. Again, Trudeau had an early election for whatever reason. He wanted to just start one up. And he got all the votes that he wanted. The people apparently wanted to be abused. They love the abuse. Yeah. They love the pain. So I have no sympathy for them. I apologize to any Canadian listeners out there, but patience and understanding was yesterday. Today they're annoying me. And I just that's how I feel about a lot of at least half of the country. If somebody complains about gas prices, well, who'd you vote for? Did you cheer on the bullshit election of 2020? Oh, you supported Joe Biden. That is no sympathy. Oh, you lost your house and your business, and you weren't able to spend the last moments with your grandparents, and they passed away alone. Oh, you hated Trump and think he's a Nazi? Well, you know what? You brought this on yourself. And again, the Russians are coming. They're in San Diego. Not my problem. I'm just gonna hang out here and play video games. And if they capture me, I'm gonna be like, they're over there. Or
that's how they feel about us. These wokesters, they want the BLM crowd. Even Sheila Jackson Lee. I mean, the government really doesn't like. I mean, our last podcast with Mike. We were talking about this government's is crazy. We trampled on blacks for 100 years, fought for them, and now they have freedom. And now all of a sudden, the white man is the devil and has to be basically rubbed out, killed, or just become like remember the American Indians, just kind of like become like a reservation on reservation.
And they're doing that on a small scale. We're seeing that on college campuses. And and it's and the demoralization it goes it's at every level of analysis in society. I mean, they're telling these young children in the public schools who are 8 or 9 years old that they are responsible for grave suffering and pain that may or may not have happened in the first place, and that they need to atone for their eternal sin of being white. And then people want to turn around and ask, why are these kids harming themselves? Why are these kids miserable at school? Why do they bring weapons? It's like, maybe because school is hell and that the educators are evil.
Well, and you remember Pat and I, because you came from that era where this is all happening. But Pat and I grew up in a different. We're both 56, so we grew up in a time where if your teacher said something was okay, it was universally okay. So, but they were talking about good things back then, wholesome things, family things. You can imagine a child today who is so innocent and confused as, the teacher says I can just play with my friend's sex parts and it's a lot of fun. And these kids are going to be destroyed. They're going to have addictions from here to Christmas. And their lives are going to be absolute hell. They won't know what to do. They won't get the right help because they'll think it's just normal. Hey, I'm this. It's like, no, that's an adult fetish. Let's keep it there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I have I made up my own unit of measurement. It's the getting your ass beat standard. So if I were to tell a child about private part stuff, am I going to get my ass kicked? And the answer is yes. But now it's like we're not allowed to touch them. We're not allowed to harm these people or beat the shit out of them for being disgusting and creepy to kids. And there was a young guy that I speak with. He's a content creator, Manic the Mechanic, and he tells me that he just recently graduated from high school. And he's like, every classroom there were rainbow flags, just BLM stuff, And there was another young girl that I spoke with. She's like 21 now, but when she was in school, high school, she was getting sexualized by the staff. She was getting groomed, and she told me she wanted to remove her breasts. She wanted her breast reduction because she didn't want to be sexualized.
Yeah.
It made her uncomfortable. So this stuff is happening in the public schools, and and we're supposed to care. If it's a Catholic church, people, their hair catches on fire. But if it's the public educators, if the public sector unions get wind of it, they rush to defend them at all costs. It's very sad. It's serious stuff. And
we're in a really rough period right now. And they've got to be. One of us is going to win, and it better be us, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because if they win, then there's going to be basically pedophilia and child grooming forever, and that's not good.
Yeah, and it'll be state sanctioned, which is infinitely worse, if you can imagine. Already a disastrous thing.
Yeah.
But fortunately, people on the right, the sensible ones, are talking about it, and new parents to be or parents now, it's like, get your kids out of the public school.
It's your kid.
Yeah.
The sad thing is many people can't afford to do that. That's the sad thing.
Yeah,
they can't. I mean, it all sounds good. Oh, well, move out of there. Well, we can't.
Yeah.
So it's but this all came about, all this sexualization of children. When did this all start coming about? What initiated all this? Well, let me think. Oh, turning over on gay marriage. It put all of this crap in motion. All of it.
Yep.
All of it.
It might have. Some would argue that this type of propaganda, began in the universities a long time ago, and now we're at a point,
60s or whatever.
Yeah, now we're at a point where it's not enough. They got to get them young. They got to get them when they're little and impressionable. So yeah, it's very disgusting. It's very creepy, and hopefully, luckily we're seeing all throughout the country all these moms rise to the occasion, and they're running for these school boards, and a lot of them are being successul. I want to say maybe most of them are insanely successful. So hopefully by the end of the year, we're going to see meaningful change. We're going to see meaningful change.
If we don't have a nuclear war before then.
Oh yeah. Granted,
that's always a caveat. You know what I mean?
Joe Dork Brandon doesn't end up causing another nuclear catastrophe. Yeah, we should be okay.
Hey pal. Want to do some push-ups? Yeah, okay, yeah.
Who's impressed by this fake tough guy shtick? Do you guys know anybody in your life that has fallen for it?
It got me 800 million.
There's the Democrats. There are a certain element of Democrats that hated Trump that much that they would literally risk. I know it sounds crazy. They would literally risk a nuclear war at Russia.
Yeah,
I mean, there's always,
crazy.
That's a shame to say that. It's crazy to say that, but it's the truth.
Yeah, Sam Harris. Sam Harris is one of those people.
Sam Harris.
That guy used to be my hero. I wanted to be like Sam Harris when I grew up. Yeah, this is before he went off the deep end, and I kind of stopped listening to him after 2016. But it's really embarrassing.
Now, all the Hollywood, I know that you were Michael was trying to get into Hollywood, and he said he saw that they became all Obama fans, and he didn't want to go there. Now, you have a story about the Hollywood. Were you actually in Hollywood with all those wokesters?
I knew some people. I'd go back and forth to LA, and we'd party. I wrote 4 screenplays, and I shopped the screenplays around, and unfortunately,
everybody says screenplay, right? For frick's sake, it's always funny when someone says.
I can see Giovanni being pretty good at that, actually, though.
He might be. I don't know, but it's a thing in the business. It's like everybody's a screenwriter. Yeah, okay.
No, but I actually did it though. A lot of people, a lot of people can say they write, but they don't actually write. I'm actually doing an audiobook from this very short screenplay. It's only 90 pages. It looks thicker, but yeah, it's but I think it was Legendary Studios or. Oh God, I can't remember the other one. I think it was Legendary Studios or Lionsgate Studios. That's what they reached out, and they're like, we might be interested. Wow. And this is back in I think the middle or like kind of early-ish 2016. And I finished up the work, and of course I was kind of public about the shenanigans I was up to regarding the election. I like to take credit for a lot of the success that President Trump saw. I was on Reddit. And a lot of the posts that I was able to make from one of the Trump communities, it would reach the front page. Reddit was known as the front page of the internet. And I think people got wind of it. I have a sibling, and she ended up seeing it, and she kind of doxed me and outed me. and
Oh,
said that I was,
wow.
up to no good and all this stuff. And
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
so it was kind of embarrassing. But I mean, I didn't face any real world repercussions. Only that I got ghosted by these two studios. And yeah, ever since growing up, it's like I always wanted to not necessarily act, but like I wanted to make movies. And it's like, well, I don't have a camera, I
Wow.
don't know all the technical nonsense, but I know how to write and I have a good story. And like this one right here, it was based off of H.P. Lovecraft Call of Cthulhu series, but there might be some legal issues with using the title, so I had to make some minor changes. I'm actually going to do like this monster series, and I think it's going to be really cool. And I'm going to be publishing it on Amazon. So yeah, that's a thing. That's currently something that I'm working on right now. I actually just got Fruity Loop Studio so I can actually do proper editing and post production. So
Wow. Michael was like you were trying to break into Hollywood, and then you changed your mind. So why don't you tell Giovanni that your
Boy, do
side of
you
the
know how to
yeah,
butcher a freaking
yeah.
biography.
Let's go,
Pat.
let's go, let's go, right? Let's go, Mike. Let's get your side of the story. Let's
You
get
were
your side of
trying, weren't you? No, my whole life was dedicated to it, asswipe.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. Oh, I'm not going to go into this, but no, I knew what I was going to be when I was very young, and so I started practicing. I mean, when I was about 7, I started practicing. So, and so I learned a lot of sound effects, voices. I learned
yeah,
production, film editing, everything. I had to do this all on my own time. But so yeah, it was what I was doing was basically going to college for 30, 40 years and learning everything I could. And then it's like getting out of college, and then basically they go, "Oh, I'm so sorry. So while you were learning, yeah, we changed. We really don't like people like you anymore. Honest, upfront. Yeah,
yeah.
we can't." So it was because I got an invite to be on America's Got Talent, and I went, no. I've been in
Oh,
and around the business, production, and some on-set stuff. I mean, I know all what it is. It just got so nasty, especially when Obama came around. It's
yeah.
all of a sudden these actors you knew nothing about, their opinions. All of a sudden, I managed to bring it out in them, and boy, did they hit us! And I just went, wait a minute. And I started looking deeper and deeper. I'm like, okay, okay, change course. I have to do something else. I mean, could I still work there? Sure, but I can't go in through the normal methods the way because they'll tell you, even like Dean Cain. I heard him talking recently. He's like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you go to an audition. They're checking your social media to see who you are, what you do, and if they see you've got conservative something, you're out."
Oh yeah,
So
if you're
it's
following like a
yeah.
Jordan Peterson, you're off the artistic roll call. So that's generally how it goes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, so I'm not going to put myself in that position. I won't. I can do everything they can do, but I'm not. That was my thing.
Yeah.
That's what God told me. No, you're not going to use it for them. You're going to use it against them. Oh, all right, well, let's go.
We
Let's
have
go.
we have to. I mean, it's great to see that talents like such as Michael and Giovanni are on our side, so to speak, because I mean these guys are wicked and they want everybody on their side and to control the world, and it's disturbing, and it's good to see a couple guys that are really really talented, much more talented than me. I'll be honest, you guys are very talented
Oh, well,
guys,
thank you.
and it's good. No, I really mean that from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of my soul. No,
Yeah.
but you guys are really talented. It's good to see that you're doing it for the good, not for the evil.
No,
Well, it's
absolutely.
interesting, and I just want to say this real quick. That it's interesting because when you think about Hollywood and the scripts and the screenplays, and all the prosecution or persecution that goes on with people posting on Twitter or Instagram, wherever it is, okay, you get canceled for saying this. When you drill down on it, many Hollywood scripts are just really long, detailed Twitter posts by writers, directors, producers, and then they use much more creative media and effects, push their points. But their words and opinions in the movie, they're not canceled. Their creative political statements are not banned.
Yeah.
They
Right.
get to make billions producing, their very special and expensive posts, and they're honored with red carpets. And
Yeah.
that's really all it is. They're using their free speech, but in a more powerful and expensive way that the average person doesn't have access to. So yeah, it's a bunch of cheating. Oh, we can, but you can't. We
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, the nature of Hollywood is it's a little bit more sinister than that. A lot of these awful films that end up making it to the big screen, the majority of them aren't even profitable, but they still keep being made by the same large studios. And a lot of it is because it's being subsidized by the federal government or being subsidized by the communist Chinese government.
That is criminal.
right.
That's
Yeah.
criminal.
So
right
when people
there.
are like, like on the right, there's a lot of dorks. I know there might be nice guys, but they're like, oh, go woke, go broke. That's not necessarily true. It's like these films don't have to make money. So you'll have like one awful film from Disney that nobody sees. I think it's called Strange World, and I think like nobody saw. Let's just imagine 500,000 people saw this film. Now they're being bombarded with this woke propaganda. The film doesn't need to make money, but those 500,000 people, they're gonna get indoctrinated, and they know one other person.
Sure.
So then it's like an atomic bomb. It's like the cell splitting,
Right.
and it goes nuclear. And they've been doing that for so long. A lot of these films are awful. They don't make money. Hollywood is you've heard of the term Hollywood accounting. There's a reason for that. I think a lot of this stuff is also a way to do money laundering. We're seeing that in book publishing, like Amy Coney, like Amy Coney Barrett.
Oh yeah.
This woman is unremarkable in most regards, even as a legal mind, and she was basically a glorified clerk throughout most of her career. But she somehow ends up making millions of dollars on this book deal, a book that nobody bought. Give me a break. That's just the nature of the business.
It's horrible,
So it's
I think.
really difficult for really talented people, to break into the industry, and two, have their movies made. A lot of times it's not the films won't get made, period, because they want to, push a political agenda about climate change or medicine or whatever the case may be. Like the screenplays that I've written, none of them are political. Maybe one might be because it's based off the life and death of the People's Temple, and the drama surrounding Jim Jones and the investigation by James Randi. So it's like a thriller, it's a drama, it's funny and it's good, and it's based on reality. It's condensed, because there's a lot of lore there, but and none of it is political. But now everything, it has to be political, it has to be woke, it's got to be anti-white, anti-Trump, and that's just how you succeed. And again, if enough of us ignore it, maybe things will change. But a lot of nerds, they can't help themselves. They want to consume these products and make them more money, and I'm just not into that. I'm not.
Hollywood is a cabal. It's a freaking cabal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and there's a lot of indoctrination going on. And most of those people in Hollywood, they're so wealthy, especially the actors. The few that they are wealthy. They think it's for other reasons, but they're wealthy not because they're awesome, but because they're distributed. That's the main thing. You can get someone out on stage and say, okay, what can you do for us in 5 minutes? Show us how awesome you are. Most of them couldn't, but they're surrounded by, all the smoke and mirrors and the publicity and it's all the distribution. It's all, there's so many actors in Hollywood who could do what the existing actors can also do, but they don't let them in. They just keep recycling these old, let's give it to him again. Do we need to see Bryan Cranston in another freaking film? Do we? No. I said freaking. So,
exactly. We just definitely, but we don't like to use the bad.
The naughty words. Okay, I'll try to limit it. I got a potty mouth. I can't help myself.
We don't want to be the ones. We believe me. We've all been there, so to speak.
Well, I feel like I'm in school again, just getting scolded for my speech.
You guys. No, you're so talented though. But at the same time,
we don't talk like that.
Yeah, we don't talk like that anymore. But you mentioned Jim Jones that they're doing a screenplay on, and that's amazing because it kind of correlates to the woke crowd right now. They're just drinking the Kool-Aid and anything white, specifically white Christian male, is like, oh my gosh, you can't even. Right now, our conversation is not even allowed to go anywhere beyond this. Maybe a few. You'll have some viewers. We'll have some viewers, listeners, but. This will never make the big time yet. We're trying, and you're trying, and that's why we're trying to. Yeah, I mean, it's basically a cult right now, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh no, it absolutely is, and the conclusion of your participation is, it's death. A lot of these individuals that are participating in like the Transformer rainbow stuff, or they're just in tune. They're in line with the democratic ethos. A lot of these people are. they're depressed, they're suffering through mental anxiety and other mental impairments. And they are ending themselves. They are harming themselves. In a weird way, it is a death cult. And of course, they're cheering for war. They're celebrating the mistreatment of innocent Americans who have not even been charged with a crime. It is a cult. And of course, living out here in Vegas, there's a lot of wokesters out here. And a lot of people, they've wished harm on me. They want me to be abused by the federal government. They want me to be in prison. I've been called a murderer. Unironically, because of my because I refuse to wear certain face items, apparel.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
so,
you murdered all those people.
Yeah, apparently, yeah. I'm like, you know what? They're so lucky that disease was not deadly, because I would have gone into like the Capitol and just started horse laughing. I'm like, I'm gonna take them out. I'm gonna take them with us. You guys start the revolution without me, and then I'd die a hero. But it's all they made it up. Especially during the riots in 2020, I'm like, how come people aren't just dropping like flies? Everyone seems fine. I thought this was I thought it was the worst thing in the world. What's going on here? So yeah.
Yeah, the hospitals. Remember those films they were doing about the hospitals being empty too? Like, everybody's getting sick, but I don't see it. They went there and the
I was one of the people that
empty.
did that.
Were you?
Yeah, I went to St. Rose. I snuck in. Well, I just walked in. I just tell them I snuck in because it sounds cooler. There were like a couple people online were like, yo, dude, we're gonna go to like the biggest hospitals in our area, and they were all empty. They were empty as hell. There was nobody there. I had another buddy of mine. He ended up getting hospitalized. He was very sick, but he's fine now. And nobody was there, and he was often ignored by the personnel. And he really needed care, and he was in a room with another individual, and he was very sick. And they were just ignoring this guy. He was gasping for air, and that guy ended up okay too. But again, the lie was, the bodies are piling up, and it's mayhem. People are crying and leaving, in droves. They've been working on their feet for 72 hours, and it's like, nah, none of that is true. None of that is true. I was there. I saw it with my own eyes. I never believed the propaganda. They tried to get me, but
that's good.
I didn't fall for it.
Man, they really tried. That was the ultimate propaganda on that COVID. That was unbelievable.
Well, Biden was one of those people standing on stage saying, if you don't wear your mask, you're killing other people, for God's sakes. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that like it was yesterday. Absolutely.
Our own president up there. Man, that guy is, he's the lies this guy gets. Obama was the same way, though.
When Obama was elected in 2008, I was unhappy because I disagree with him politically, and in 2012 as well. But when this 2020 thing happened, I felt this is bad news, man. This is going to get really, really weird, man. This had a different vibe to it, like an evil vibe. Did you guys feel the same way? Something like this is not going to be cool at all.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Sure. I knew ahead of time. I prepared for it. So a lot of what I'm seeing now, I'm not entirely surprised. The human rights violations, the abuse, the blatant lies, the corruption, all of this is pretty obvious. Again, I was a Democrat, so I'm familiar with Joe Biden. I'm familiar with the Pelosi's. I understand what goes on behind the scenes. And, this is a guy who was an avowed racist, a very vocal racist.
Yeah.
He didn't want his kids, mingling with the other races. He said the school would be a jungle. And, he said, don't assume that I'm not corrupt, things of that nature. And this is somebody who was rebuked by his own party to run for the presidency. They rebuked him. They said, no, you can't do this, Joe. But now all of a sudden, it's okay. Well, we'll get him in there for whatever reason.
Yeah, just to get rid of Trump.
Oh, yeah, Kamala couldn't even make the 1% of the presidential candidates, right?
Oh, she was a total loser.
I'm going to pull her out because she's black and she's a woman. It's going to look great on my resume. What a dork. Yeah. They don't need that.
It's just because of the diversity. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Loud and clear. You're good. Great. Can you hear us?
All right. Yes. Yeah. She's just a diversity hire, basically. I mean, that's pretty much... that's her deal. Yeah, well, what people don't know behind the scenes, Jill Biden, the husband of Sleepy Joe, Jill doesn't like Kamala Harris at all. They do not like each other.
I've heard that.
They're not fans of each other. She took issue with the cheap shots that Kamala Harris took at Joe. Not like Kamala Harris was wrong. I think her story is a lie. The whole, I want freedoms, whatever, she's like
Arsenio Hall.
Yeah, I know, right?
I was a hoe. Yeah. Jill called her a chicken head.
A chicken head?
No, she didn't.
Is that who she was dating? No, she was dating Montel. She was on the red carpet with Montel.
Yeah, Montel. Yeah, she was
yeah.
one of the chicks on his arms. I mean, what a sleaze.
Oh yeah, I mean, she was always reaching for the stars, and she'd do anything to make it to the top.
Get there, right?
Oh,
yeah, anything. And she really doesn't like Whitey. She's made it more than clear that she does not like Whitey.
Oh well, she'll marry Whitey, but she doesn't like him.
Yeah.
Whitey's done an awful lot for the world. You might want to watch it.
Well, and and it might go both ways because she's a childless woman, despite being married for all those years. She doesn't have kids.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, these kids look kind of odd. They don't look anything like Kamala. So I looked it up. I was like, oh yeah, she has no children. Look at that.
Yeah.
And do not want a half-white child. I will not have that.
Well, yeah, that's funny. She's not even she's Jamaican. She's not even African. She's Jamaican
and Indian.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And they gave her the Bobby Jindal treatment. They lightened up the skin. They try to make her more. Yeah, you get that reference, eh?
Bobby Jindal.
Yeah, that guy's a total goofball. Whatever happened to him? Someone should call him up and see if he's all right.
He kind of disappeared. Yeah, he kind of just disappeared off the face of the earth.
Yeah, they wanted him to be like the counter to Obama, and I was like, yeah, that's why I wasn't into the whole like Republican side, because all those people were dorks to me, except for Ron Paul.
Yeah, and I think they try to, and I think the Republicans have that same weakness, I guess you want to call it, where we need more minorities. Okay, that sounds nice on the surface, but maybe they don't want to reciprocate that, and how much butt can you kiss to get to minorities? I mean, how many goodies the Democrats have them because they offer them goodies and free this and free that. But I mean, when do you say no? I mean, when do you say, hey, maybe it's just not meant to be?
Yeah, well, they should start doing that right now because we got a lot of diversity hires on the right. We've been talking about a few of them like Ollie Alexander, Eliza Blue, and Jack Murphy. All these people are duplicitous, lying hacks, and they made their way into right-wing circles. And all these people, they got a sordid past. They've embellished, their lives. And they're basically taking money from, grassroots movements and
George Santos. There's George Santos. What about George Santos?
I actually kind of have a little bit of respect for what he's doing. He basically copied the playbook, Joe Biden's playbook. He embellished his life and his career, to propel himself to stardom. Good for him. And he's kind of like owning it in a weird way. He could have been a pathetic sleazeball about it, but he's actually handling it kind of funny. And I'm down for what's funny. Like Joe Biden, I feel like those people actually believe the lies. I was a truck driver. I'm this tough guy. I was arrested with Nelson Mandela and all this other, ice cream, whatever the hell. And I can't stand it. It's just so like I can't stand fake people. And it's just what's even worse are the idiots who vote for him and believe it. It's like why would you believe this? Like, I don't understand. It makes me sick. Like George Santos, though, at least his lies were kind of believable. He's like, oh yeah, I went to school here. It's like, oh yeah, I worked here. And then of course it turns out like none of it is true. And much like Kanye West, he's like pretending to be Jewish as well. I don't know. The whole thing is silly. Whole thing is silly.
That he was against the Jews.
Well,
Kanye's.
Yeah, that's what he says. Well, Kanye West is a serial liar.
Yes.
And all the people surrounding him, like Nicholas Fuentes and Ollie Alexander and Baked Alaska, and some of the dorks on the Manosphere, like Sneeko, they're all lying hacks and they're all grifters. And because I'm like, listen to what Kanye West is saying. He's like talking about like Catholicism and baby Jesus, but then he says that he's like Jewish. He's saying he's both things. He's like, well, which one is it? The guy doesn't make any sense.
I just don't think he's that intelligent. I mean, he's smart enough to make money. I'll give him that. So that's great. But
he's distributed.
He's distributed. Yes, he used to be more of a liberal type guy, and now he's supposedly a right winger. I just think he's way off the.
Yeah, I don't trust him. I don't believe anything that comes out of his mouth. I don't think he's a genuine person. And this is like for those who don't know, him and his ex-wife. These two individuals, they were petitioning the government local governments to release violent, deadly criminals who've been convicted. They're going to do life. and all of their victims were white. Centoya Brown comes to mind. She's one of the few that actually was released. She ended up killing a man in his sleep. She shot him in the back of the head while he was sleeping, and then she robbed him. And you know, they had correspondence. They had the girl dead to rights, but Kim Kardashian and Kanye West roll on out, and you know, they got her to be released. And so now I'm seeing alleged white supremacists, Nicholas J. Fuentes and other individuals corral around Kanye West. I don't even think it's possible they might not even believe what he's saying, but they're probably getting a lot of money, and it's a funny story to tell.
They want some of that distributorship. That's
something's. I mean, Nick Fuentes. Sometimes he has some really good points.
Yeah,
but then sometimes, I mean, I think he really went over the edge with this Kanye thing. I mean, it's just they're supporting him way too much. A guy that's just kind of, you know, just not. He's really not there. Kanye. He's supposedly he hates Jews and he watches Nazi movies and supposedly he's a Christian. I mean, he's all over the place. The guy is a loose cannon.
Absolutely. And I just want to make clear. I think Nick is funny. And I think he's really talented. He's a talented speaker. He's a talented broadcaster. I don't know what's going on. I don't know the angle here, but a lot of the other individuals who are kind of nefarious and skeevy, I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of it. They're certainly not Kanye West himself.
Oh, no way.
That's a whole mess, that whole Kanye thing. There was another rapper. I forget what it was. I came across the video and I haven't been able to find it again. He was a rapper. He was very well known. I still can't remember his name because I don't listen to rap. But
P. Diddy? Was it P. Diddy?
It was not P. Diddy. I'm not sure who it was. But so, and he's sitting there, he's saying, man, you know, everybody know what the Jew, you know, in Hollywood and music, they don't want, they own everything. They own everything, you know. He was just basically saying, it's true. It's true, you know. And then I always talk about it, I was like, well, that's interesting, you know, that some of the things that the Jewish people are doing in this country, the people who are in high places, you know, the people that own these big media companies, what they're doing is basically some of the oppression they're creating with their money. It just reminds me of what they went through in Nazi Germany. I'm going, what are you doing that here for? Whoa,
a lot of correlation.
I know who that is. I think who you're talking about is Charlemagne the God. He's the host of the podcast, The Breakfast Club.
I don't think it was him. It was some other guy. But obviously, if you're in that business, you know. Yeah. So it doesn't take one or two. I mean, they're probably all going, yeah, man, we know that. They know.
Yeah. Maybe Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon.
No, it wasn't Nick Cannon. No,
man. Well, those are the only two that come to mind. Yeah, because they came out and they made these comments, and then once it went viral or whatever the case may be, they took them back. Again, I don't work in that industry, so I don't share their beliefs. I don't even know if it's true. I don't look into it. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
This is what I notice. For those who end up watching this later on and try to get me in trouble.
That's just history, facts. It's all we look at.
Yeah, no, we're just no. There's this country is in such a anti-white mode right now that any criticism of any other group, let's just say, I don't know, we'll just say Hispanics, just to, all of a sudden you hate them all. No, that's just, we don't hate them all. We just want, can we have a society? Are we allowed to have a society, a normal society without it being I think Michael said, what was that you were saying the other day about the asylum? Tell them what you said about the asylum.
Yeah. They think they're coming here they're coming here for asylum. What they don't realize is they're entering an asylum.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, no, that's totally true. Yeah, we should just put up signs like beyond this point, insanity, turn around. Maybe they'll take it have to be in Spanish. We'll have to Google translate it.
Yeah, we used to tell the Native Americans when we were taking over their land, we would put signs up everywhere, and it would say, tradition is the enemy of progress.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's what we did. So you think it. Now the Democrats are basically wanting to do to most of the country what they first did to the Indians. Yeah, and this whole thing is just, I mean, talk about history repeating. It's
See, that's exactly what it seems like. History is repeating itself, and now whites are on the bullseye. That's why.
Yeah, for what?
We're not only pure.
For what?
Yeah, for what? I mean, I thought we're all supposed to live in this wonderful society together, but it seems like some people don't want that to happen.
Oh no,
multiculturalism. Bleh.
Yeah, they certainly don't want that. That's certainly true. Yeah, we're seeing that all throughout the Western world. It's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate, but there's only so much people will put up with, and like you said, we can't vote our way out of it. Maybe something will happen. Who knows?
Yeah. Hopefully
Well,
Texas,
yeah.
I mean, Texas will be the first to move on, and they have a secession movement down there. Hopefully, I mean, I will move to Texas in a second from where I'm at. If they ever, because they're getting swamped right now, and I just think the country's going to be over in 20 years. So, I mean, some movement has to be made now.
Yeah,
Something ought to happen.
that movie, The Purge, is looking more possible by the day.
Yeah, right. The Purge. I'm
It's,
telling you, yeah.
it's like, yeah, we're gonna
Yeah.
just get this over with in one night, and
Yeah,
all
yeah,
the
yeah.
tensions will cool afterwards. I'm like, yeah, maybe that's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Let's fix this with voting machines that are rigged. Yeah, that's gonna work. That's
Yeah,
gonna work.
yeah.
Okay, what a
Amazing.
joke. You should never, so much for computers doing the math for us, right? I mean, what a freaking oh.
Oh well.
Did you see that?
Oh, see what?
There was a video I saw yesterday. It's an old video, but it just resurfaced. It was a guy testifying in court about how he was hired to rig voting machines, and nobody would see it. Nobody would see it. It would just happen, and unless you knew how to read code, you would not see it, and it would just make the guy win automatically. Boom! It would just. Yeah, this guy was the programmer. He's like,
Yeah.
I was hired to do this, So
Yeah,
it's happening.
I'm very familiar with the election department out here in Clark County, and I know the voter registrar, and I understand how a lot of this stuff works. And when people talk about, I mean, it's not the machines probably play a role in it, but when you have the local government sending out, over 1 million ballots, and
that too.
and
Yeah.
and some of those even go to minors, and they go to illegal aliens, because the DMV automatically registers people to vote regardless of their citizenship status. The activists, the Democratic Party, they know where these ballots are going. That I have a theory that they're probably intercepting them, and then they're filling them out and then submitting them, and then they have just enough to knock off somebody like Adam Laxalt, for example. They probably
Right.
couldn't do that with Lombardo for whatever reason, but
Right.
it's mostly the ballots. That's really where the problem lies, and they're counting these things in secret. There's no transparency, which is odd, because the Democratic Party, they demanded election integrity, election transparency, because
right.
something to do with the Russians interfering in the elections. But when we demand it, it's a conspiracy. But being a member of the Democratic Party, I can tell you, we have a long history of denying elections. We denied it in 2000.
Yep.
During the Kerry's election against Bush, they denied it then. Obama, he ended up gathering enough signatures to defeat his opponent over in Illinois. But when we demand signature verification, all of a sudden we're insurrectionists,
conspiracy theorists.
we're traitors, and we need to be put in prison for life. The double standard is noted, and people should be smart about it and understand.
Democrats have so many atrocities in their past. I mean, it's just like, how are you still doing business here? I'm sorry, you need to be
But when
gone.
you give away free stuff, supposedly free, we know it's not free. But when you give when you offer free stuff to people, that's pretty enticing. I mean, that's unfortunately to a lot
Paid
of
for. Well, it's not
low
actually free though, is it?
Yeah, those.
it's not free.
It turns out those Obama phones paid for themselves, apparently.
yeah.
I got my Obama phone. I got my Obama phone. I had to post my old mailman when I lived in Florida. When that happened, he was like, "Yeah, I'm delivering these Obama phones, and people are ripping the boxes open. They're all pissed off. They thought it were going to be iPhones." It's like, "Oh yeah, okay, right." That's all we get. A damn old phone. I don't want this thing.
So
Do
now,
no business on this.
Giovanni, do you? So you're more or less on the Trump train than DeSantis. Is that what?
I refuse to vote for Governor DeSantis. I get it. He's a popular governor. There's nothing wrong with him. But, I'm in it to win it. And I'm on that Trump train, and I'm not getting off. And the only way that they depose President Trump is through, shenanigans. And if they do that, I have no allegiance to Governor DeSantis. I'm not interested in supporting Governor DeSantis. That's just not gonna happen. I'm all in on Trump or nothing. And just given everything that's been happening this week in, the conservative world, I don't know these people anything. I'm in it for Trump and him only.
Well, let me tell you. Let's do that. Let's tell Giovanni about this. Okay, Mr. President. This is how I want it to go. Okay, I was cheated out of my 4 years. This is how I want it to go. I come in for 4 years in 2024. DeSantis is the VP. Right, then I go for 4. He steps in and does 8. Right? Is that terrific or what?
That would be a winning ticket. That would actually be a fantastic idea. There might have been rumors cool. By another Vegas guy, Vegas lawyer Robert Barnes, that actually is going to be the case. And a lot of this drama brewing in the background might not even be real. I don't know what's going on. But who knows who his VP pick is going to be? It could be Kristi Noem, it could be Carrie Lake and DeSantis. Those are the only 3 people I can imagine fulfilling that role. I know Marjorie Taylor Greene wants to position herself. I think that'd be a terrible mistake. I like Marge,
I don't know if she's presidential, but I like her as a person, but I don't know if she's presidential material. Does that,
not only that, I mean, there's just, I think she's got too much baggage. The intense hatred for her is, it's too much. It's too much. But she's a great woman and she's really well spoken. They try to, treat her like a country bumpkin, but she's actually very intelligent. She's wonderful in my opinion, but I think Carrie Lake would be better, or DeSantis would be better, or Kristi Noem, because they got those executive chops. They got that style. I don't think Marge has it.
Yeah, no. And DeSantis, he gives great speeches and great, but his debating is weird. I was talking about that the other day, right, Pat? He's like, when the other person's speaking, DeSantis is standing there with this glassy, weird smile, and I'm like, every time I see it, I'm like, what are you doing? Stop, you look creepy.
Yeah.
You're losing votes just because of that. Don't you understand? That's why Democrats win all the time, because they're so animated. They're actors. Don't you get it?
Oh yeah, they are.
It's so true, man. People don't realize that people will vote for the more animated person, even though they say the same things. If they do, if you put 2 people there, they're going to go with the guy that says, hey, you know what? And you know what? Biden's really good at that. He's an actor whenever he goes down here and does this stuff.
Yeah.
It's all acting, okay?
No,
Obama was an actor. See, but the thing is, if they're actors, that's one thing. I mean, all politicians, but their act is getting old with me, and I know you guys as well, because they're actually destroying this country. And I don't the funny part. They're all actors. Yeah, that's true. But it's about the time that they got to come up, man. I'm glad we're talking, and that's why I reached out to you, Giovanni, because I feel like you're a guy that is kind of like feeling the same. We're on the same wavelength.
Certainly. I think for me, it happened. I think I noticed this a lot longer ago. Like, with Obama, I was never at any point impressed with Obama. I didn't think he was remarkable. I didn't care for his speeches. I never sat down and watched anything that he's ever done. Right. But he had this weird allure, this manufactured allure to him. And it wasn't so much that he was acting, but he was certainly playing a part. But it was the media, the legacy media that helped make that a reality. It was the creeps in Hollywood. It was these professional activists, and even like the tech industry to a degree. They really elevated this fake messiah persona, and a lot of people fell for it. And now we're seeing that fake persona being created for creepy, sleepy Joe. He's the tough guy. He's the old school fake working class American, even though he never was. The truck driver. He's beating up these gangsters and pool parties or whatever, and none of it is real. The Obama treatment, now it's being given to Biden, and again, his whole life, none of it is real. It's like Forrest Gump, but with autism. It's stupid. The whole thing is stupid, and people fall for it. Trump didn't have to do that. He didn't have to lie or embellish his past. A lot of these figures like a lot of these conservatives, they have, genuinely good stories, and they try to make fun of them. Dorks on the left, they didn't went to college, or, look at their orange skin, or whatever the case may be. They try to bring them down. But the people that they try to criticize, like Trump or Kyle Rittenhouse or Marjorie Taylor Greene, these people's backstories are actually, quite dynamic and interesting and cool. But, like Obama's background isn't interesting. Joe Biden is not. That's why there's this fake, allure around them. Same
Oh
with like
yeah.
even the young Congress people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
she
Yeah.
Oh
wasn't a
God.
Bartender.
remarkable individual. She was
No.
a
Nope.
substandard
No.
student, a diversity hire or a diversity enrollment student, and then she was just a bartender. I don't care
Right.
how great her grades were. She didn't do
No.
anything at all, and it certainly doesn't show. She's just an actress.
I think most of those grades were due to speech manipulation. She gave a
Yes.
good speech. You know, that's the thing. Yeah. And you can't do anything that the Democrats are doing to America. You can't do any of that without, it's the oldest trick in the book, having control of the media.
Yes.
This is why this is happening.
Yeah, and it's also why they're so adamant about censoring lawful speech online. Something that I like to impress upon people is that like the fake Russia collusion hoax, it wasn't necessarily about President Trump, and it isn't even about Russians. It's about censoring lawful speech. Because if you really think about it, the core claim was you had these nefarious individuals who are Russian, who are going on Facebook and on Reddit, on Twitter, and they're posting the green frogs and they're saying silly things that get a lot of traction. And it prevented Hillary Clinton from winning the presidency. So when they say we need to do something about these Russians, they're basically saying they need to do something about me and about my speech.
Right.
That is the best way to look at it. And you get fraudsters like Renee DiResta trying to make it seem, and even Jack Posobiec to a degree, he was kind of echoing some of the same sentiments. And again, that guy used to be a Fed. He worked for the federal government, so I don't really trust him. But so people got to understand, like, that is really what is happening behind the scenes, and this is why there was such a heavy-handed response to people talking about pharmaceutical products, talking about foreign events. I mean, you're not even allowed to root for the Russians on YouTube. You'll get censored. They'll go after you. So I mean, again, and they do this because they're like, we need to prevent Russian interference. Anybody says something that conveniently runs contrary to democratic ethos, and we're going to have to censor your speech for national security reasons. So it's bullshit. So any other take is wrong, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's not even like it's not even as if I love Russia or think they're some wonderful country.
Yeah,
Because
it's
I
too
know they
cold.
have their problem. Yeah, it's too cold for the first part. You're right, and they're kind of a dictatorship over there in their own way. It's not that I love Russia; it's that I hate the New World Order. So I guess if I have to pick, it's like flipping a coin. I don't love Russia. But I hate the New World Order and I hate Klaus Schwab and all these guys. So I don't care if they call me a Russian troll or whatever. I don't care. There's sometimes you just got to go out there and say what you, and that's what's great about Mike and I and Giovanni. We don't really care what people think about us.
Oh yeah, I'm over caring about it. I mean, I know they're gonna assassinate my character one way or another. Guys and girls I grew up with are like, "Oh, Giovanni's lost his mind. He's crazy now." I'm still the same person. I'm still me. I haven't changed my opinions at all.
That sounds like a song. Remember Joe Walsh? I'm still the same person. Wow, wow. Remember that song? Mike, what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I am not familiar. Probably before my time.
Life's been good to me so far, or something like that.
Oh yeah. Oh, that one. Yeah. So far.
Anyway, but it's been great talking to you, Giovanni. And where can be? I have to go eat lunch right now, and I'm starving, and I have to go to work. Unfortunately, Unfortunately, I still work, and I know.
Oh yeah, I know the feeling. I'm going back to work tomorrow.
Yeah. So, and that's great that you have to supplement your income, but while you're trying to hit the big time here, because I think that you and Michael and I are definitely destined for something great, man, and we have to stick together because
it's destiny.
It's destiny. We have to stick together because we have a lot of enemies right now, man, and they have the power right now, and we gotta flip the switch on them, man.
Power. Well, the good thing is that we know who they are. They're more than happy to reveal themselves. So we got that going for us. As long as people just mildly pay attention and understand how the world really is or how the country really operates, you can probably navigate through it intelligently enough to kind of avoid some of its more sinister pitfalls.
Yeah. Keyword intelligently.
Oh yeah.
That's the scary part right there. With H.L. Mencken said, "Never underestimate the intelligence of the American voter," or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Never. Yeah. So we're fighting a battle right now, man. I mean, this is a battle. We're in a war. They are at war against the founding fathers, the founding stock. I mean, they are swamping these countries in Europe and America with third worlders, and they want to change the demographics. And there's and if you say it, you're a conspiracy. No, we're not conspiracy theorists. This is really happening.
Oh well, they also say it too, and they actually celebrate it openly, and then they act like they don't. It's very very sinister, very very sinister.
Gaslight,
people.
yeah, they're gaslighting us, man. They're totally gaslighting us right now. You know?
Sure. Well, that's what they can. When you own the media, you can do a lot of that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
A lot of it. Cancel people. What I think is interesting, though, is that the same thing of where they got all their power, the internet, which is an amazing invention. I mean, it's a shame. I feel like we got the internet before we even mastered civility, which makes a whole nother problem. Now here we are, they've got the internet and they can control everything. But now, interestingly, the internet is also a source for a lot of their undoing too.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of the pushback and the rise of a dissident class, it wouldn't have been possible without the internet.
No,
really.
Right. Exactly. So it's
interesting. And that's why they're trying to control it. They're
gonna lose. Trust me, they're gonna lose. Yeah. Listen, great. So much. Thanks so much for coming on, Giovanni.
Giovanni. Where can you be reached at? To our fans here, I know.
Absolutely.
So it's you can be reached at
you can
leader of the band.
Yeah.
On the podcast.
That's right. Or you can go to youtube.com/BadBoySwag420. God, I hate saying that. I really should have.
Because you're such a pothead.
Yeah,
I actually don't do drugs. I put a disclaimer. I put a disclaimer, and I would never advertise any illicit activities to anybody. It's a high roll. It's just a funny name.
Up before you realized that?
Yeah, I made this up a long time ago. Before I was like publishing videos seriously, and I'm just like, well, I guess I'm stuck with it. It's like, I had the graphics made, so.
Yeah, that's funny. That's okay. I'll do it. Is he a drug? No, he's not.
He can be reached on BadBoySwag420 on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm also on Twitter.com. It's Smugboy, boys spelled BOI, Smugboy420.
Another name.
Another.
Yeah. Okay. That one I just recently made that because my initial account was disappeared for some reason. I don't really know what happened there. But yeah,
Elon Musk was listening to you, and he did not approve.
Yeah,
Elon,
I got to call him up and be like, hey, can you unban me?
Yeah, what's going on, man? What's going on here, brother?
I was on Twitter like 6 times. I just go on. I started years ago. I go on, shut it off. Go on, shut it off. Go on, shut it off. I'm happy over at Getter. Yeah, I'm over there.
Yeah, that's how Michael and I met on Getter, and but they have sort of a hierarchy over there, like Yeah, are you on Getter at all?
No, not at all. I mean, I already got way too many social media sites. I'm not even on Truth Social as much as I love Trump. I was like, whatever, man. I'm not gonna do it.
I got you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah, no,
there's so many out there that you don't want to be on every one of them. It's how much time can you put into those places, But that's how Michael and I met last April, and now we're together. We did some live shows, and we're ready to rock, man. It's time. It's time to take them on because it doesn't seem like the Republican establishment cares about us too much. There's a few of them in the Republican Party that are okay.
There's a lot of. Yeah, there's a lot of oppression by Republicans too. They do it too. Like, ooh, that guy's got some ability.
They're all into the Ukraine thing too.
They do.
Yeah,
it's disgusting.
Oh, they do, and Republicans are the worst at picking good talent too. That's one of the notable things. Yeah, they are not good with picking entertainment.
They're like, here's Dan Crenshaw, Nikki Haley, and they expect us to get excited about that. I was like, Jesus, man.
No,
exactly.
I think 9/11 gets more applause than they do. Jesus.
Crazy out
there.
Yeah.
There you got leader of the band, spelled BANNNED. That's your podcast.
That's right.
And BadBoySwag420.
I recommend everybody listen to him because he's got a lot of good stuff that he mentions on there, and he's got Cheese as his co-host. And
that's right.
I like the show myself, and I highly recommend it, man.
Oh, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you inviting me on, and I had a blast, man. Thank you so much.
And we'll do this again, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll
And-
use
and-
Discord. We'll use Discord. moving forward.
That's better. Yeah, Discord works
Discord,
much
yeah,
better than
I
the
agree
other.
with you 100% on that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
never heard of Source Connect. I'm like, what is going on? And like my connection is great.
Well,
so
it's
very
an audio
unfortunate.
production thing. If you're in audio
Yeah.
production, you know about it. And that's, I was going to use Discord, but I thought, well, it's so inundated by gamers and stuff, you know. Who knows? Maybe,
Nah, don't
but
worry
it's
about
okay.
them.
It'll
Don't
work.
worry about them. It's more of a social thing for me. But yeah, the gaming was kind of the top priority. So I understand.
It works real well. Let's give our stuff out real quick, Pat. So we've got a website, cliveanddardis.com. If you want to go there, anybody, cliveanddardis.com.
DARDIS.
Yeah,
DARDIS.
DARDIS. We did a radio commercial. It was kind of funny. So we've got the whole spot going. It's like, Clive and Dardis, and then we finish it. We're like, but it's radio. It's a podcast. What if they don't know how to spell all that?
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. Like, we didn't think of that. Oh, that's right. But so we've got that. I've got a YouTube page. You can look up Micheal Clive on YouTube. That's a traditional voiceover stuff and and then I have a page that's dedicated specifically to political satire. And there's some crazy stuff on here. And that's just go to YouTube and put in sobering satire, and it'll take you there. There's some amazing pieces on there, man, that you won't believe.
Yeah, his
So,
impressions are amazing. So
that's
yeah.
our
So I
links.
mean, we definitely want to do this again and get to know each other. I think it's important in these times to have a little networking going on, because I mean, we sometimes, and I know you do, you feel alone. Like, does anybody else on the same page as us? And,
Oh yeah. It gets. I mean, even like when I communicate with other members on my side, so called, it gets really lonely, especially when there's duplicitous liars like Eliza Blue and Jack Murphy out there,
oh yeah.
up to no good, tricking people. It's I'm gonna do something on her again, because the drama around this is just getting bigger and bigger, and I'm like, why isn't Tim Pool addressing this? Like, his fans were literally robbed. It's unbelievable. But anyways, yeah, no, I don't.
I wouldn't consider Tim Pool conservative anyway. He's more of a libertarian.
Yeah, who knows?
Libertarian. Yeah, I don't really know where he's at, but let's just leave it at that for now.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. No, thank you guys so much. It was a blast. The Trump impression,
Yeah, man.
honestly, I've heard a million of them. Yours is probably one of the best.
It's the best in the world, that I can tell you. You better believe it. Excuse me.
You should make a soundboard. You should make a soundboard with that. That'd be great.
Soundboard, right? Oh no, yeah. So other people can use it, and I won't get any credit for it.
Yeah,
never mind.
right.
Never mind. Take it back. Not a good idea.
That's so funny. I know people. Soundboard. Yeah, but if people like impressions, I am the top conservative political impressionist in the country. I do voices that you wouldn't even believe. So if you want to hear some of that stuff, go to Sobering Satire on YouTube. It's pretty fun. There's amazing stuff there.
Yeah, I did link it in the recording or the stream that I'm doing.
I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that.
Yeah,
so
thank
much.
you, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right.
And
Not
we'll
that
stay in
advanced.
touch, man. And God bless you, Giovanni.
Yes. Yeah, thank you.
And
God
we'll stay in
bless.
touch, brother.
Thank you. Y'all have a wonderful day. Have good lunch, the whole 9 yards. And yeah, you guys know how to get a hold of me.
Yep,
You bet. We will too. We will.
All righty, fellas.
Thanks, man.
Take care.
All right, take care, man. Bye-bye.
You too.